I got your email about this screen going dark when it's turned on. I just called the store to clarify what you meant by that, and they're saying the screen is completely dark. There's no power to it whatsoever, but the cutter does come on, and you can do a cut with it, so the cutter is on. In that case, it may be a bad screen, but could also be a wire. It's just a couple of quick checks. First is come around here. You just gotta take off this. There's 4 screws in here on the corner, Phillips. I took them out already to make this quicker. Just take those out and just slide it back an inch. You just need to clear this lip here on this crown. And then you're going to take the screws out of the crown on the side. There's a couple Phillips here and a couple on the other side. Once you get that off, make sure the cutter is powered off. You can unplug it from power completely. And then you can lift this up, and it will come unplugged here if you lift it up, or you can just see that plug right there. It's going to come unplugged there. It just came unplugged. It's hanging down there. Okay. And you can flip this over. And this screen right here is basically this. There it is on the back. It's got a plug in there. It is possible that went bad, so you want to check that. If it is a bad screen completely, then you just replace it with this. This is basically it right here. To make it easier, we send it already attached to here, and it's just a lot easier to replace. And you get a new touch pad with it too as well, because these touch pads can go bad after a few years anyway. They typically don't, but they can. So anyway, that's what you get if you purchase a display screen to replace. But the first thing you want to do is you want to take this crown off and just check inside, and just make sure this plug is just fully plugged in. Make sure none of these wires are coming out of it, so make sure it's plugged in fully. None of these wires are backing out, and it's plugged in fully. If you want a good idea, just to unplug it and then plug it back in. Just make sure you get all the prongs. Don't miss a prong on either side. Just to give it unplugged and plug back in, you can do that. And you already unplugged this one, so when we plug it in, it's unplugging it. And you come up here at the top, and you got this other one here. So you can just unplug it and then plug it back in. Make sure it gets all the prongs. Don't miss a prong on either side. Plug it back in good. Check it good. Very slim chance this board could have gone bad. It's just basically a jumper board. This is going to the main board, and the other one plugs in here. It goes to the display screen. So very slim chance that could go bad. But we'll just unplug these. Now you're going to be plugging this one back in. So you just take this crown back and plug her back in. It's better if you hold it, someone plugs this in for you. Okay, and it can come unplugged there when you do it if it's not quite long enough. So it's better if you got a second person to plug it in while you hold it like that. Okay. Then I'm just gonna make sure it doesn't come unplugged when you lift it up, because it could come unplugged when you lift it up. Then you can just test it, see if it comes on. If it doesn't come on, you can check. You can turn it back off, and you can take the screws out here, Phillips screws. It's better to go ahead and take this off again, so you can get these screws easier. And then once that, again, powered off, unplug your cutter, slide this out, and then you're going to be looking for this one right here on the very end corner. It's got 4 wires going to it. This is the motherboard, and it's, again, I need to stress, make sure this is unplugged. There is power in here, so unplug it from power completely. Don't just turn it off, unplug it from power, unplug it. And then you can unplug that, check all the wires, make sure none of them are backing out of the plug, and then just plug it back in. And that's your wire, and it goes through here and routes up behind the cutter up to here, and then plugs in there. So it's possible you can have a bad, this could have came unplugged, or on this end right here it could come unplugged, or on this end right here it can come unplugged. Just better just to unplug them and plug them back in, make sure they're plugged in good, and then go from there. If that doesn't fit, then put your crown back on. I already showed you that, putting the crown on. Put your crown back on, slide this table back into place, and turn it back on, see what comes on then. If it does not, you may need to replace that display screen, and you just have to order a new display screen. And we do have a video on replacing it. It's not very hard, fairly easy to do. There was a slim chance, and you'd get a new wire with it, and I can send you this wire, but you probably don't need it, but I can send it just in case. And I can send you this little board too, just in case, but I seriously doubt it's that, but never know. That would be the only thing. The only other thing besides the 2 wires, the display screen, and this little board that has anything to do with that coming on is this board right here. The motherboard. It basically controls everything. So it's possible the plug on this board went bad and it's not allowing power to the display screen. That's a slim chance too, but that is another possibility. But we'll go from there. Just make sure everything's plugged in good. And when you do put your crown on, if it's kind of short like this one, not only hanging down a little bit, go straight over it like this and have somebody else plug it in, because if you did it like I did, like this, where you put it behind that and you're doing it by yourself, and you do that and then you go to raise it back up, it ends up unplugging and you don't realize it's unplugged. So it's better just to have somebody else, a second person, plug it in when it's right there. Mike, can you do that for me? It's hard to do with the camera, so let's just assume he plugged it in. You should have got it plugged in, and then you can just put it down. It's better to do it that way. Okay, and I'll just send you this video and we'll go from there.